Want to know how to create awesome videos? Check out Motion. Want to know how to create awesome videos? Check out Motion. Want to know?
Hello! Hello, hello! Salut, mon amour! Hold on, I'm gonna turn this down. Kind of make it like more backgroundy instead of all up in your face, you know? I am so good. I haven't been this like refreshed, I want to say, in like a while. Like it feels like I just went on a long vacation, but not one of the vacations that are like stressful, but just chilling on the beach or something. I'm not sure why, because literally all I've been doing is working like full time and streaming and playing games. Like that's what I've been doing. But I feel great. I don't know why. Maybe the meds are working. But yeah. And like, so hold on. I need to find out how to word, right? So when it comes to like food service, like I work in food services, right? And my kind of goal for when I retire, or like when I'm an adult, or whenever I want to really, is to own like a cafe, because I've always loved making people happy with stuff that I make. Like seeing people like putting that extra effort into something and them really enjoying it, and it like putting a smile on their face is such like it just makes me so unimaginably happy. I don't know how to describe it. But like when I worked at Starbucks, it was like that for a while, but with like bad management, like so much drama going on, like so many things happening at my store. I went through 4 managers. 4 managers when I was there, and I only worked there for, hold on, when did I work? Like 2019 to 21. So like I want to say like 2 years. I only worked there for 2 years. I went through 4 managers. Hold on. So there was, oh my god, there was 5. Because 2, wait. So 1, 2, 3, And then my manager who was there for the longest came in with another person, but she only stayed for like not even a month. So that's 5 already. And then like 2-3 months before I quit, there was another manager. So there were 6 managers in 2 years at my store. So like it just like sucked the joy out of making things to make people happy. You know what I mean? It just sucked the joy out of it, especially since it was a drive-through Starbucks too, so like everything was like fast-paced. Like you couldn't like actually put the time and effort into something, because then you would be yelled at for taking extra time to do something. But like today it was faster paced, but like I don't know, I just like was making ice creams, and I was putting little flags everywhere, because it's a United States holiday today. So I was putting little flags and sundaes, and I was letting little kids spin the wheel, which they can win a prize for, and I was like putting little googly eyes on their ice cream, and like it just was, and the smile, I think that's why I like streaming so much too. It's like I started streaming as kind of a way to like make friends and like to meet people and to talk to people and to just have more human connection than what I was already getting. Like, hold on, sorry, I'm covered in ice cream. I haven't showered yet. Shower after. But it's like I actually started mainly because I've always been interested in like being a content creator, like ever since I was little. But what made me actually decide to try streaming is that I saw the like OTV family and how like interconnected and how good friends they were, at least on camera. And I actually met someone when I was playing a game who was streaming at the time, and I was like, oh my god, you're streaming right now, like this is so cool, I've been thinking about streaming. And she just like really gave me like the like push that I needed. It was a very small push, but I guess that's what I needed to start streaming. And I was originally just gonna do it to like meet people, but it's like seeing how like connected and how like happy just talking to you guys like makes people, and like hanging out, like I just like, it just makes me so happy. I can't, it just is like, oh my god guys. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Hold on. And it just is like, I don't know. It gives me the same fuzzy feeling that like making something that I'm proud of that like makes someone else's day. Like it gives me the same feeling. But instead of food, like I originally thought it was gonna be, it's like it's just hanging out in my personality. It just makes me so happy. I think I realized that today when I was at work. I was like, why am I having such a good time in this like absolute rush where my wrist hurts because the ice cream's like frozen and like I had to scoop it 12 times in a row. Like, what is like, why am I so happy? And it's just like, I think I realized, you know? That was sappy AF. I'm so sorry. But I just wanted to say that. But today we're going to be talking about the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. I just found out. I don't know what day. I think it was a few days ago. Like 3-4 days ago, I think. they gave their closing statements. Both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp both gave their closing statements for the trial. And if you haven't been watching super closely, it's kind of, I don't know how many weeks has it been? Was it like 14 weeks or something? Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. How long was Johnny Depp and Amber's trial? Don't judge me. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, it's been 6 weeks. Why the heck did I think it was like 14 weeks or something? I was gonna say, I thought it was 14, but it ended way faster than I assumed that it was going to. So now I'm just confused. Anyways, it was 4 weeks. Wait, what did I just say? Was it six weeks? I don't know why this is so difficult for me. I'm so sorry. So it was 6 weeks of, like, interrogation. Not really interrogation, but kind of, okay. If you don't know what happened, I'm going to give you kind of like a very vague rundown. The closing statement, even though it's kind of like the finale, the conclusion, they are going to review a lot of evidence. They're going to review a lot of points because that's like, they're trying to like nail the idea home. So like, I don't think I have to like go over a whole lot. But just in case you don't know anything, I'm going to go over like a little bit, a little spiel, a little fun time. You know what I mean? Okay, so when it comes to the Amber Heard and the Johnny Depp trial, they got married. And allegedly, until the verdict comes out, I don't want to say anything. But allegedly, even before they got married, Amber Heard was abusive to Johnny Depp. I'm very biased. Just so you know. Just so you guys know, I'm very biased in favor of Johnny Depp. And was very manipulative and very abusive before they even got married. But there was a few cases where the abuse was kind of more like seen than others. And it kind of all came to a head in Australia where they had a major fight and Amber Heard allegedly threw a bottle at Johnny and it like severed the fingertip, like one of the fingertips of his hand. And kind of like after that, like they were trying to convince the jury that it wasn't Amber Heard who did that. Johnny Depp did it to himself when he was like breaking a phone, like a landline phone against the wall. Which doesn't it doesn't really make sense to me, but that's what they're trying to claim. Before Amber Heard before Amber Heard filed for divorce, she filed for a restraining order against Johnny Depp, and allegedly tipped the press to show up at the court while she was there so they can get pictures of her bruise, her alleged bruise, at the court twice, when she was getting divorced and the other time when she was filing for a restraining order. And it is alleged that apparently, this is what Johnny's team is saying, apparently she filed for the restraining order and tipped TMZ off that she was going to be there and gave them video of him assaulting kitchen cabinets in order to kind of paint him as an abuser. And that's kind of what the case is about. The case is about defamation. and you don't know if the word defamation means like legally, it essentially, when you're filing for a defamation case, you have to prove that it was harmful to you in some way, and you also have to prove intent, which is one of the harder things. It's very hard to do because you don't really know what's in someone's brain, so you're trying to tell the jury that like it has to be because of this intent, because what other reason would there be? It's kind of like that. So they have to prove intent, that her releasing the press or getting a filing. Oh, she also a few years later kind of labeled herself as the spokesperson for people or victims of domestic abuse. And so when she was doing that, she was actively damaging Johnny Depp's reputation. I think he lost a lot of movie deals. I think the only thing that stuck with him was Dior. I think that was the only company that stuck with him. So a lot of companies stopped working with him. He lost a lot of money, which is provable. Like they can prove that Johnny Depp lost like money because of these claims. However, the hardest part is they needed to prove that Amber Heard did it to harm Johnny, to harm Johnny's reputation. They have to prove that in order to win the case for defamation, as this is not an abuse trial. So in the process of doing this, they have been trying to prove that Amber Heard was actually the abuser and not Johnny, as to kind of give a like reason as to why she would do this. Be like, oh well, she was actually the abuser and manipulator, and she wanted to abuse him more and hurt him more and lie about him more so that he would have to come back to her. So that's the kind of like reasoning that they're giving. But Amber Heard and their team is kind of saying like, no, Johnny is the abuser. Johnny's the abuser. I just spoke the truth. Like, I have no reason to lie. Like, if his reputation was hurt, like, by this blah, 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 then he shouldn't have done it. You know? That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to spin it that way. I personally am in favor of Johnny. From what I've seen, a lot of the evidence points to the fact that Johnny was the main victim. And actually, Amber Heard has had an abuse trial against her with her ex-wife, I think her ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, where she assaulted her in an airport. So doesn't look the greatest, but essentially there's a lot of evidence that points that Amber is actually the abuser. However, in a relationship, it can be very hard to tell, like, because I don't think that there's like a true victim or a true abuser, because it's like, say Amber started the abuse. If someone is abusing you, hi. Yeah. Yeah. Why am I putting lotion on your back? Yeah. Come here. Do you have the lotion? What's happening? Please don't crash stream. My computer just died and fell. It didn't die, but it fell. So what am I doing?
You're putting this shit on my back. Sorry, do you not cuss?
No, I do.
Okay.
I cuss all the time. Okay, hold on. Hold on. We're gonna have to do this differently. Alright. I'm putting lotion on you. How long were you guys at the beach for?
We felt like 3 hours.
Didn't like that. Dude, are you proud of me? I didn't get my tattoo burnt. Oh, does the stream want to see my tattoo?
I think I've already showed it.
Damn it.
Yeah. We'll show you. We'll show it again.
Wow. It hurts so bad. The back of my calves are burnt too.
Really?
Yeah.
My summer leaves don't hurt to take it out.
Do you got any simps in your chat?
Sometimes, but I just pretend that I don't know what they're talking about, and then usually they just go away because they think that I'm just dumb.
Yeah. Stand up? Why would I stand up right now?
No, literally, that's exactly what it is.
I left something behind me.
What?
What? I'm literally watching videos. There's nothing I could grab.
That's exactly it. It's usually not that like blatant, like it's not usually like sexual. They're
No.
usually like, oh, you're the cutest person I've ever seen. I'm like, thanks, you know. Thanks, sweetheart. Check my Gertrude in the back. Yeah, my little cat in the background.
Are the doggies ever been on the street?
I don't think Walter or Charlie.
You put a little extra on my tab.
Yeah. It'd be like
Wait, let's try and get my. I'm not trying to have the stream so I can get those.
the kid.
Look at
You really just be giving out free foot pics.
I know. Does the stream want to see my feet?
No.
Yeah, they do.
No.
Yeah, they do.
It's free feet pics, bro. I'm gonna smack you.
Are you talking about the Johnny Depp trial?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
who do you like more?
Johnny.
Johnny? I feel like everybody likes Johnny more.
I feel like it's impossible to believe Amber.
Yeah.
It's like she had the worst witnesses. Like they were all dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, like, there probably is some truth, a little bit of truth to both sides. But
Yeah.
like,
I definitely. Well, it's like.
it's so hard to, like, be heard.
Yeah, I was just talking about this. I was saying that, like, I don't think there's, like, a true like, abuser and a true victim. Because, like, if once someone starts hurting you really bad, it's only natural to, like, lash out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
So,
like,
like-
if they grew too mutually, they both start lashing out.
Yeah. So, like, what I was thinking is, like, I'm 80% sure that Amber is the initial abuser and she always starts it, and that if Johnny, like, lashed out or something, it wouldn't be right, it wouldn't be good, like, don't do that, but, like, it would be more understandable than what Amber's doing.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I think genuinely. And plus, you know, have you seen, like, the messages that are in the trial? So, like, the only proof that they have that Johnny was abusing Amber was him talking shit about her to his friends.
Yeah.
And saying, like, I wish she could, like, die and stuff like that. And I was like, if someone was abusing me and kicking my ass,
It would.
I would say worse shit than that. I would be like, wanna, like, go grab this body bag and let me, like, poison that bitch? Like, I would be so mean.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't say anything, but these shirts are really baggy.
If I get fucking banned because of you?
Has there ever been a gritty on the street? Whoa!
Oh my god, I have the funniest story. Are you ready? So Emma has. So did you see my I'm gonna turn this on. Have you seen my Did you see my Instagram story about Rickroll?
Yes.
Okay, so Emma, my coworker, has never heard of a Rickroll.
What?
And so we have like a speaker that we can attach to and like play music on, and we like switch who has it. So today was her day, and she played like a cover of that song, and I was trying to tell what it was, and I was like, "Did you just fucking Rickroll me?" Like, and she was like, "What?" And I was
That's
like,
so
"What do you mean?" And she was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "What the fuck you mean? What's that? You just Rickrolled me,
Dude,
bitch!"
that shit's from like 2007, and I know what it is. I was
Literally.
born 2 years before that.
Literally.
I just doxed
So
myself.
I do that all the time.
I live at. Hello, my name is Walter.
But like, so literally, I was like, "The fuck you mean?" So I put it on in my Instagram story. Guess how many people said that they don't know what that is? Like 4 people. Guess where they're from?
Okay.
Canada,
Okay.
Turkey,
Okay, that makes,
Saudi Arabia,
that one makes sense.
and then one person was
North Korea.
no was from here. One
One
person.
person.
One
Was it
person. No,
Okay.
it was that guy that I told you to talk to from Jaden.
Oh, Sheldon.
Yeah,
Does he play football?
he is a football and track.
I haven't heard anything else about him. So he might just be captain.
Well, he might not play anymore. I don't know, but
True.
there's just dogs too again. This is why I don't have other people in the stream because I will accidentally dox myself. Like I don't go by like my full name on stream.
Yeah.
I go by like AJ or Rain or sometimes Addie, and sometimes I'll just be like, I know what you're thinking. Why did you do that? And I'll be like, that's my name.
That's. You should have like a hotkey bleep button.
Yeah, but like I'm in the
I mean,
middle.
you can
I
control
already
it, but-
said it.
so,
Like,
like-
it's like gone
Like if
now.
you want to. I know, but wouldn't a hotkey bleep button be really funny?
It'd be really
Yeah, we could bleep
when,
this whole
and
conversation.
when you come in.
I could just come in like. Alright, I'm out.
I love you.
Me
Gotta
too.
finish whatever this is.
Bye, Auntie.
Bye, Julian. Bye, Julian. I love you. You were just like, bro. I just almost said the name of our school earlier.
Fortnite Academy.
I thought you were gonna say, and I was like, there it is. Yeah, you bitch.
Oh.
That one my.
Check the video.
Do I? What if I clip that shit? So, guys. I hope none of you heard any of that. Anyways, what I was saying was, I feel like it's really hard to have a true victim and a true abuser in a relationship because you might have the initial abuser, you know what I mean? But like, I feel like once someone physically hurts you or emotionally hurts you in like an equal kind of relationship, I feel like it's kind of hard, especially if you have a temper like I do, to just like not do like doesn't make it okay, but like to not retaliate in some way. You know what I mean? So like there was messages that came out that said like Johnny texted his friend and was like, I hope she dies, like I hope blah 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 blah, blah like a bunch of horrible shit, and I was like, if a bitch cut off my finger to the point where I had to get it sewn back on, abused me, mentally abused me, like humiliated me in front of thousands of people, I would be worse. I would be worse. I guarantee you that. I would be. So the fact that he didn't say worse shit, or didn't do worse shit, saint. So it's like, it's really hard, especially if it's like, they like didn't, in the trial, there wasn't any proof to prove Johnny was the abusive one, other than the text. Like, there was no proof. There was a picture that looked like it might have, but, so, here's the thing. So, the picture itself was a picture of a black eye and allegedly a split lip. There wasn't even a split lip in the picture. And then she showed up on television the next day, the bruise was gone, the split lip was fine, and she was posing with her mouth like wide open, and you still couldn't see the split lip, and she was like, here. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Bro, I've had a split lip before from, like, acne. Like, I've had, like a hole here from, like, acne. And I can't even do that when I have that. I can't. It hurts like a bitch. And you were just full on posing like you're biting a chunk out of a caramel apple that's way too big for you. No. I disagree. So, that's, the gist. That's my feelings on what I know so far. Alrighty. Let's go ahead. So, the first one we're going to talk about is Amber Heard's team presenting their closing statements. This is a kind of like a shortened version. It's called Key Moments in the Closing Arguments of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, LNC Daily, and it's from the YouTube channel Law and Crime Network. This came out 2 days ago, and let's see.
Usually, bras fit small-chested women like this.
Thanks for the ad right now.
You guys.
Actually, I think I'm gonna run an ad. Never mind. It did it for me. When did I run an ad? Did it do it for me or something? Probably did it for me. Okay, let's get into this bitch. Let's get into it. I gotta find like a perfect. Oh, this is a YouTube channel, okay?
Straight ahead on Law and Crime Daily.
We ask you to give Mr. Depp his life back by telling the world that Mr. Depp is not the abuser Ms. Heard said he is, and hold Ms. Heard accountable for her lies.
Closing arguments are presented in the case of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, and Depp's team calls Heard's allegations.
Okay. Before I even talk about the trial, if you've seen pictures of her in the trial, she looks like an entirely different person. Like, she looks so gorgeous in this picture, so nice, so like, I love my husband. He's so nice to me. I don't know what that accent was. It kind of sounded like Mort from Madagascar. King Julian!
In the case of Johnny Depp versus
But she looks
Amber
so different.
Heard, and Depp's team calls Heard's allegations a vicious lie.
Ms. Heard's claim that the op-ed is not about Mr. Depp is just another one of her many, many lies.
Plus, Amber Heard's attorneys fight for their client.
And you cannot simultaneously protect and uphold the First Amendment and find in favor of Johnny Depp on his claim. You simply cannot.
And later, a breakdown of Amber Heard's counterclaim.
You can find whatever Mr. Waldman's done, and you can find whatever Mr. Depp has done. And both of those are the same for purposes of evaluating the verdict form.
Law and Crime Daily covering court cases from
What the fuck did that even mean? If I was in the jury, I'd be like, huh? What the fuck did you just say to me, bitch? Like,
welcome everyone to Law and Crime Daily. I'm your host, Brian Buckmeyer. Closing
okay,
arguments in the
okay. So, imagine, okay, so we all know that, like, it's a super common thing to, like, hate jury duty. But imagine the one time you're called for jury duty, it's this case. Bro, I would be so pumped. I would be like, yeah, justice! let me just like, I am jury and executioner right now, bitch. I'd be so hyped. Anyway, guys, I'm a minute past, but 10 p.m. EST is when I take my vitamins. Not my vitamins, my medicine. Tasty. Okay. Oh my god. I hope that if I ever get jury duty, it's a case like this. It's a case like this. I would be so ecstatic. I would be like, yes, jury duty. Call me Batman, because I fight for fucking justice, man. Justice.
Depp versus Amber Heard case are presented 6 years
Okay, I'm distracted again. I'm so sorry. Hold on.
The day.
Okay, he's so handsome. He's really handsome. He's really handsome.
After Amber Heard filed for a temporary restraining order from then-husband Johnny Depp.
I like his
Law and
eyes.
Crime's Angela Levy was inside the courtroom for closing arguments Friday. Anjanette?
Brian, you know, it was May 27th, 2016, when Amber Heard went to the courthouse in Los Angeles and filed for that domestic violence restraining order against Johnny Depp. You know, this was a turning point for Johnny Depp. This is when his attorneys say the giant lie began. The paparazzi was at the courthouse, and this made international news.
So let's talk about the giant lie at the heart of this case. Ms. Heard's claim that Mr. Depp is an abusive monster and that she is a public figure representing domestic abuse. At the start of this case, Mr. Chu and I told you that you were going to hear some disturbing and graphic tales of abuse from Ms. Heard, and they were designed to shock you and overwhelm you. We told you that this would be a performance, the role of her lifetime, as a heroic survivor of brutal abuse. When Mr. Depp brought this case for defamation, Ms. Heard went all in. She spun a story of shocking, overwhelming, brutal abuse. She came into this courtroom prepared to give the performance of her life, and she gave it. Ms. Heard's acting coach, Christina Sexton, testified that Ms. Heard has difficulty crying when she is acting. You saw it. Ms. Heard sobbing without tears, while spinning elaborate, exaggerated, fantastical accounts of abuse and everything going on in her mind almost a decade prior while enduring that abuse. It was a performance. She told you what she thinks you need to hear to convict this man as a domestic abuser and a rapist.
And Camille Vasquez didn't mention this in her closing argument, but it had come up in testimony during the trial. May 27th is not only the date that Amber Heard requested that domestic violence restraining order, it's also the birthday of Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose. And we heard testimony that Lily Rose...
What a fucking asshole! Bro. Okay. imagine Johnny Depp for a second was an abuser. You're his wife, who's the victim. Get out of that situation, boo thing. We appreciate you. However, if Johnny was... It's such a fucked up thing to do. Like, just like... She filed for a restraining order on his kid's birthday? Oh, baby. I'm so sorry. So sad.
Did not like Amber Heard, so you have to wonder if that date was purely a coincidence, given what's being alleged in this case by the Depp team, that this was all an elaborate hoax. Brian.
And Jeanette, so you were in the courtroom. Tell us about what you heard in the lawyer's voice as they argued in summation, the reaction of the jury, and even the audience as closing arguments were being made.
Hearsay?
You know, I think it was interesting because I've been in the courtroom obviously before, and this was different. You know, it's a serious mood in there at all times, but this felt heavier this morning for some reason. It felt more serious, and you know, I don't know how to.
Sorry, there's an ad. Oh, there's a cute little cat.
A heavy feeling, and everybody was very quiet. There have been some times where people have, you know, chit-chatted and things like that, but it was just really quiet. And then Camille Vasquez got up to start her closing argument. The jurors smiled at her pretty broadly, and then they listened. They listened intently. I didn't see any of them taking notes, which was interesting because they took a lot of notes, obviously, during the trial and during the testimony. But they seemed very engaged in what she had to say. But a lot of them have been kind of stone-faced, and I felt like they were pretty stone-faced today as well, at least from where I was sitting.
Yeah. Now, I guess this is $1 million question. When do you think we'll get a verdict? And what issue do you think the jury will grapple with the most when trying to come up with heads or tails of this case?
I always hate to make predictions about verdicts. Sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. You know, it's kind of like spitballing. But, you know, there's just no telling. Judge Askarati told the jurors she would let them deliberate into the evening if they wished. But she also told them, I don't order dinner, so be aware of that. Also, we are on the, you know, cusp of a holiday weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. So you have to wonder, is this jury really going to want to stay at the courthouse late? Also, there was a woman dismissed from the jury along with a man. So that means there are 2 women now on this jury and 5 men. And there are some, you know, there are different age ranges involved here. Some of these are younger men, and the women, one of the women appeared to be kind of maybe in her 50s, and then there was a younger woman. So, you know, people have different life experiences. It's really hard to understand or wonder or put yourselves in their shoes to wonder what they're, you know, what they're dealing with and what they're focusing on.
Absolutely. Well, we're all curious about what they're focusing on. And Jeanette, stick with us. We'll be back in a moment. Still ahead on Law and Crime Daily, a closer look at the closing argument presented for Johnny Depp.
This case for Mr. Depp has never been about money, nor is it about punishing Ms. Heard. It is about Mr. Depp's reputation and freeing him from the prison in which he has lived for the last 6 years. And it's 6 years to the day.
Ahead, the culmination of the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard trial as attorney Benjamin Chew rounds out closing arguments for Depp's side. Welcome back to Law and Crime Daily. We're taking a closer look now at Depp's closing argument, presented in part by attorney Ben Chew. Chew told jurors Depp's reputation is forever tarnished because of a vicious lie.
Mr. Depp has millions of fans, people who grew up watching him on 21 Jump Street, which is something you heard Ms. Heard mock on one of the tapes that was played to you. Or they grew up watching him play the swashbuckling pirate Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, or Willy Wonka. Mr. Depp mean something to those people. And those people mean a lot to Mr. Depp. He's a fond memory from childhood or adolescence or adulthood. And to tarnish him as an abuser is to destroy him in the eyes of many of these people who will never look at him the same way again. And because
Why
of
does
what
he sound like he's
Ms.
about to
Heard
cry?
did, and because of what she said, Mr. Depp will go to his grave knowing no matter what he does, no matter the outcome of this trial, there are people who used to look up to him who now believe that he beat a woman, which is the worst thing you can say about a man. He did not and does not deserve to have his life, his legacy, destroyed by a vicious lie. The lies have grown and metastasized over time, and they need to be stopped. And those false accusations have caused more harm to Mr. Depp than her fists ever did.
Joining us today is defense attorney Matthew Mangino, co-host Terry Austin, and law and crime correspondent Anjanette Levy. Matt, I was actually not a fan of this argument by Chu. I actually expected Heard's lawyers to argue that some people can't separate their childhood love of characters like Jack Sparrow, and that's maybe why they are lying on his behalf, but that didn't happen. So my question for you is, was this closing convincing enough to sway a juror that may believe Heard?
I don't think
Well,
so.
there's a couple of things that I was concerned about with regard to this closing. Number one is this idea of hero worship. I mean, they're almost condoning that, hey, people love Johnny Depp and they'll do anything for Johnny Depp and they'll say anything for Johnny Depp. The other problem is that they said that his reputation is forever tarnished. Well, you're not going to get your reputation back if it's forever tarnished. So this is about money. And they're trying to say on one hand, hey, this isn't about money, it's about his reputation. But you've already conceded that his reputation is tarnished and he's never going to get it back. So what is this case about? So it was an interesting sort of dichotomy in their closing that struck me kind of strange.
Yeah, I thought they had a lot of stronger arguments there that kind of passed on them. Terry, do you think how Vasquez and Chu divided the closing worked to their benefit?
I do. I think it was a great strategy. We know that Camille Vasquez focused on Amber Heard. She walked that jury through what happened. One thing I said before, and I'll say it again, I think they should have had a demonstrative to show what dates things happened and what the claims were. But she walked them through it and she showed that jury that she lied the entire time. And I think that made sense because it was Camille Vasquez who cross-examined Amber Heard. And then I think it made total sense for Ben Chu to actually do the law, to talk about what it takes to find defamation, and to also walk the jury through the verdict form. That's critical so they understand what they are looking at when they get behind closed doors.
Yeah. And Jeanette, what's going on in Fairfax County, Virginia? Has anything else happened in or outside the courthouse since the jury got the case?
You know, the only thing that's really happened, Brian,
It's in Virginia?
as we've been telling you each day,
Why is it in
people, when
Virginia?
Johnny Depp leaves the courthouse, they line the street behind the courthouse and they cheer for him. He waves. The crowds have been huge, and they've just grown since the beginning
I
of
would
the trial.
too,
That
honestly.
crowd then kind of migrates to the front of the courthouse, and they're gathered there right now, and they're waiting for the lawyers, for Johnny Depp's lawyers to exit the courthouse. So they've been doing this as well, coming to show support for his attorneys. We don't see that same level of support for Amber Heard and her lawyers. They leave a different way.
All right, let's see what happens with this crowd as we go into verdict watch, waiting to see how this jury, I think you said 5 men and 2 women, decide this case. Thank you very much, Anjanette. Coming up on Law and Crime Daily, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial inches towards the finish line.
This trial is about so much more than Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. It's about the freedom of speech. Stand up for it, protect it, and reject Mr. Depp's claims against Amber.
Up next, Amber Heard's attorneys take the floor to
What?
present
What? He really just brought up freedom of speech and how you need to protect it when his only evidence against Johnny Depp was him talking about his abuser and how he wants his abuser to die. That doesn't make sense in this. God. That was the worst closing statement I've ever heard in my entire life, and I've heard two. Johnny's being one of them, and that was still bad. What the fuck?
Their summation of the case before the jury. Welcome back. After 6 weeks of testimony, jurors hear final arguments from Amber Heard's attorneys. J. Benjamin Rottenborn told the jury Depp's team is victim blaming and that this case is about the First Amendment and freedom of speech.
Trying to convince you that Mr. Depp is carrying.
If you sleep when.
Shut up. Shut up, loser.
His burden of proof in proving that he was never abusive to Amber on even one occasion. Think about the message that Mr. Depp and his attorneys are sending to Amber and by extension to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere. If you didn't take pictures,
Shut up, bro. You're denying that Johnny is a victim. If anything, it's just giving a bad look for all male victims out there. Sorry, I'm very fidgety today, so I would just be rocking around in my squeaky ass chair.
it didn't happen. If you did take pictures, they're fake. If you didn't tell your friends, you're lying. And if you did tell your friends, they're part of the hoax.
That wasn't
And
me.
if you finally decide that enough is enough, you've had enough of the fear, enough of the pain, and you have to leave to save yourself, you're a gold digger. Your key question to answer is, does the First Amendment give Ms. Heard the right to write the words that she wrote in this article on December 18th, 2018? That's the question. And you cannot simultaneously protect and uphold the First Amendment and find in favor of Johnny Depp on his claim. You simply cannot. You have to decide, should someone be able to write an article like that in the United States?
So this is a rhetorical analysis kind of strategy, and if you don't know what rhetorical analysis is, it's kind of like speeches and written word about, like, you're analyzing how they're delivering the message and not the message itself. So, like, this is a rhetorical analysis kind of strategy where they're kind of appealing to the sense that you want to be a moral person and that type of stuff. By being like, you can only be a moral person if you do this, or if you agree with me. But I feel like that rhetorical analysis doesn't work anymore, because I feel like a lot of people, well, in my generation at least, would just be like, oh yeah? Watch me, bitch! Like, I don't think it works like that anymore.
Without being sued successfully, without having to go through the hell that Ms. Heard has gone through. It is time to tell Mr. Depp that this was his last chance. Tell him to move on with his life. Tell him to let Amber move on with hers. Stand up for the freedom of speech. Stand up for the First Amendment.
Terry, maybe it's the criminal defense attorney in me, but arguing burdens first when your client is an alleged victim of intimate partner violence felt like a weak start to a closing to me. What did you think?
You know, I totally understand your point, but I think it was actually a clever way to flip the narrative. I was impressed by the way he laid that out. He told the jury, if you believe Depp, then you're sending a message to Amber and others who are true victims, that unless you have photographs, unless you have tapes, unless you went to the physician, unless all of these things, then it didn't happen. Now, the problem there is you start thinking, well, maybe that's true. But here, Amber Heard said so many lies. She's not a true victim if you believe that all of these are lies. So if she were a true victim, then those issues would be a problem. And I did think it was pretty clever the way he flipped that switch on that jury to make the Depp team look like they were trying to hide something.
It wasn't necessarily clever, it just was a very obvious rhetorical analysis situation to use. He literally was just like, what is the most basic thing to do in this sentiment flip it on them. What are they trying to prove? That Amber isn't a victim. How dare you try and prove that Amber isn't a victim just because she doesn't have evidence? That's what that was.
Well, let's see if that switch works. Matt, the strongest part of Heard's case, at least in my opinion, is that Ron Bourne is right to say that the jury only needs to believe one act of violence occurred. But do all jurors have to agree on the same alleged act? And is that possible?
I don't think that that's the case here.
Yeah, me
Brian,
neither.
because this isn't a criminal case where you have to prove the elements of, say, aggravated assault, an intent to cause serious bodily injury, and it has to be, obviously, a specific act. Here, this is a defamation case. And what Johnny Depp's position is that he's never abused Amber Heard, and therefore anything that she said is defamatory when it comes to abuse. And if you can prove, whether it be one instance of abuse or one instance that one person believes and another instance that another person believes on that jury, that's going to be enough, because you don't have to prove a specific element of abuse that you normally would, or assault that you normally would in a criminal prosecution.
Now that makes a lot of sense.
She
Matt,
looks
my
so
only
fake
question is,
sad right
was
now.
that
She
clear
like
enough to the
she
jury?
literally she literally just said, "Am I sad? Am I sad looking?" Bitch, I hate her. Hate her.
How long is it going to take for them to kind of parse through that? We might be here for some days, but we'll be here following each and every step. When we come back, Amber Heard's counterclaim explained. Plus,
But what would Amber Heard's motive be for creating a hoax or creating any of this or making any of this up? That's a big question here.
hear Heard's closing argument presented by Elaine Brendenhoff. Welcome back to Law and Crime Daily. As part of Heard's closing argument, Elaine Brendan.
But is it worth it?
No. It's not worth it.
Boop. In on the counterclaim and the statements made by Depp's attorney, Adam Waldman.
With respect to the malice on this one, you know he knows that
what?
he did these things. You know that he knows he was out of it for 3 days. And that's all that we need to prove for malice. But there's a couple of more facts here. But you can find whatever Mr. Waldman's done, and you can find whatever Mr. Depp has done. And both of those are the same for purposes of evaluating the verdict form. They stand in each other's shoes. When you have an agent, and that's what the jury instructions say, you can go with both. What did Mr. Waldman do? There was an article about the sexual violence that he had put from the April one that went into the trial. Amber's testimony, she was sitting near him in the trial. Adam Waldman threw that newspaper down in front of her defiantly. That's actual malice. Remember, he's the one that after the UK trial went to the LAPD with a notebook full of things and tried to get perjury charges against Amber. The LAPD said, we don't investigate those things. But he then went to a German newspaper and said, Amber is being investigated.
What the fuck? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And my little brother accidentally might have just flashed us on stream. She really was like, Johnny Depp and his attorney, same person. Attorney threw a newspaper on the table. Malice. Attorney tried to investigate Amber. Malice. Are you dumb? First off, you might not even know what the, like what the court system works, because it was an entirely different country. Like, it was an entirely different country. That sort of thing, like throwing, like the theatrics of it, like throwing a newspaper on a table, and like the theatrics of that being like, look at this dumbass newspaper. You know what I mean? Like that could be normal. So you just like purposely being like, that was malice. Even here, that wouldn't be malice. That'd be just be like, look at this dumbass newspaper. Like, it wouldn't, like, are you dumb? And second off, they're not the same person. Sure, Johnny might have paid the lawyer to help him in the case, but they're not the same person, and that lawyer is independent of Johnny. Just like the fact that your fucking, like, co-partner, like, attorney, like, objectified his own statement. That doesn't mean Amber was dumb enough to do that. No. She might be. But that doesn't mean that his actions are synonymous with Amber's ideas. Or Johnny's actions are synonymous with his, like, old attorney's ideas. That's not how that works. It's so dumb. Hate everything.
Investigated by the NYPD or the LAPD for perjury. Do you remember that? That's malice. That's showing his intent to do harm to Amber. He also admitted that he speaks to.
Literally same. Literally me. That's not how that works. If you have a fucking brain.
That umbrella guy, and you'll see that one text in there from the person from TMZ. That umbrella guy is the big lead of Johnny Depp's, positive social media that is putting all the negative out on Amber Heard.
What?
And he also ended up getting knocked out.
Literally, hold on. Literally, this lady, like, whatever she's saying, okay. So here's the thing with public speaking. Sometimes people, they try and be very eloquent. They're very like, I'm going to try not to speak off this paper because it seems like I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to just say it from my brain, what I'm thinking, the claims that I'm making, giving evidence from my brain. But if you're not comfortable with public speaking, or you're not comfortable with the information that you already have, you could miss a point. You could, like, skip a piece that is imperative to your claim, and then your claim just seems dumb and invalid because you forgot, or you just didn't say because you're uncomfortable, or you didn't say it in the proper way, so then no one knows what you're talking about, and it just seems like you're talking to talk. So she's using all these gestures like she's like, this person did this and that person did that, but none of the statements she's actually making, if you're listening, make any sense. But she's just trying to make it seem like she is, like, credible because she's just thinking instead of just shutting the fuck up and, like, actually reading off her paper what she has written. Seems not smart to me. Literally, this lady, you, all of these people are just confused because apparently you don't know how to public speak, despite being a lawyer. Literally, the entire point, your entire job of a lawyer is to know the laws, be eloquently spoken, and try to convince people of what a situation happened that may or may not have happened. That is your entire job, is to publicly speak in a convincing way, to give evidence in a convincing way that, like, spins the story in the way that you want it told. That is your job. And the fact that you're failing so miserably means you should retire. That was so evil and mean, but, like, I kind of mean it. It might just be a bad day for her, but it seems like these two lawyers have had a bad 6 weeks and don't understand how speaking and evidence work. Oh my god. I feel like literally anyone else could have done better. Literally anyone else. Except for, like, some friends who, like, literally pass out when they public speak. But other than them. Other than them. Oh, wrong button, guys. My bad.
He was abusing Amber.
Jurors have finished deliberating on Friday just after 2 hours of having the case. They'll be back on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time to continue with deliberations. Make sure to stay with Law and Crime Network for a live broadcast when jury questions and ultimately the verdict is read. Matt, Brenda Hoff's definition of actual malice was actually off. Could that hurt her?
Literally.
When the compares the definition to her arguments while deliberating?
Well, you know, it is a bit off, but you know, as long as the court doesn't give a curative instruction, I don't believe there is going to be any curative instruction about the way she presented that during her closing, then I don't think the jury is going to focus much attention on it. In fact, they're trying to figure out what their responsibility is right now. I mean, you have very detailed jury instructions. You have 23 days of testimony. You have these closing arguments. You have all these things swirling in their head. I think they're going to be more focused on some of the fundamental issues in this case than to get distracted by what may have not been a completely accurate definition. Although we all know that in law school they teach us, you know, trial advocacy 101. You know, don't misquote the statute because that can always come back and be harmful to your case. But here, I don't think in the grand scheme of things it's going to make that much of a difference to jurors.
All right, we'll see when the jurors
it
come
made
out.
it matter to me. Maybe I just hate her.
Closing, understandably, because they only had 6 minutes for rebuttal. How will time management affect this trial?
Time management affects everything, Brian. Listen, we know for a fact that the Heard team took too much time during the trial and during the closing. And when you have to rush, it's not as important to the jury. So they should have saved some of that time.
All right, we're rushing out of here now as well. Thank you both. And thank you for joining us here on Law and Crime Daily. We'll see you next time as we discuss justice in America.
Of course, baby. I love you and your little smile. I'm going to check to see if... Hold on. Shut up. Hold on. I'm going to check to see if any statements have come out. Hold on. Let me see. When is... What is the Johnny Depp? Johnny and Amber trial verdict. It looks like, hold on. It looks like hold on. I'm trying to find, because one said that we lost, whatever that means. But, oh, that was an opinion piece, okay. But everyone else says that he's awaiting the verdict and he went to like a concert or something. Okay, so Johnny Depp gives surprise guitar performance with Jeff Beck in the UK as trial awaits verdict. Got it. And that's like, that was published 5 hours ago at USA Today. So I'm guessing the verdict's not out yet. And we can all relax and cry. Alrighty. I think that's going to be all for me today. I hope you guys had a fun time in watching the finale. And watching me rant just a little bit. Okay. So, I hope that you guys did your own research or, like, figure out what you believe, because creating your own opinions is very important, not only for your own critical thinking skills and developing your own critical thinking skills, but it also allows you to see situations in your own life more clearly. And I severely wish that for you guys, because maybe, just maybe, you can what was I saying? I don't remember. Just maybe be able to stay out of a situation that can lead to this, because I wish y'all safety. Take your vitamins, take your medicine, drink some water, go to bed on time. I love y'all so much. I think I'm gonna head out, but I'm gonna see if I can raid someone. A raid. Doesn't look like it. That's okay. Alrighty, guys. I love you all so much.